I'm right or whether I'm wrong, whether I find a place in this world or never belong. I gotta be me. I gotta be me.
You mentioned, and we're gonna touch on your, because you mentioned very freely about your alcoholism, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. But I know around that same time you were also keeping company with a lot of beautiful Hollywood starlets. Yeah. And who were some of those?
Lauren Bacall, Natalie Woods was my favorite date. No, well, Shelley Winters came on later after she did Some Came Running with Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. This is before that picture. And it was, Milton Berle was there, and there was some other young ladies there. And believe it or not, it was Jane Russell. There was also, some of them were showgirls in Vegas before they became stars, Lucille Ball. And that's before the I Love Lucy show, too. And my favorite date was Natalie Woods. She was just a sweetheart. And there was no sexual contact whatsoever, no. But that guy that she married, Wagner, he has the profile and the hair comb of a Napoli. You see? There was a little bit of a relation, look familiar. Okay. So she married him twice. She divorced and then married him again. And then, of course, she was with him the night she died when she left the ship there because they claimed she was dating the bartender on shore when she took the buoy, whatever it was, and they claimed she was drinking. But that girl was a sweetheart of a girl. Then there, of course, was Debbie Reynolds. Because of Eddie Fisher, I went to their wedding at Grossinger's when Eddie Fisher married Debbie Reynolds. It was Eddie Fisher's family that owned, he was related to the people who owned Grossinger's, where it was a fighting camp, boxing camp for boxers to train. And like Marciano was his favorite training spot. And then there was a young girl, but she never got too far. I don't know what happened to her. Her name was Mickey Taylor. She was a rockette. And then there was my favorite, who was in the picture in the book, Choo Choo Collins, who was a singer with Trini Lopez. And she was a head singer for Trini Lopez. And then she wound up with Cugat later on. And Xavier Cugat, yes. And then Xavier Cugat used to want me to display his paintings in the lobby of Caesar's Palace, and he put price tags on the paintings. Of course, he was a painter, and I said, Coogie, what the hell you want to do, put a price tag on your paintings for? Auction them off to people, and this way we have an auction here. And he said, I didn't think of that. And I said the same, and then Coogie, I call him Coogie. Coogie said the same thing to me. Whenever Sinatra worked at the Circus Maximum Theater, because after the Sands, we all made amends with each other. And a few years later, in 1965, we wound up at Caesar's Palace because it was mob money, Jimmy Hoffa with Teamster money that helped build Caesar's Palace. So we all moved there, and Sinatra made amends, everybody made amends. So by going there, Sinatra always called who he wanted in the lounge. You had the B.S. Pulley, a comedian who was struggling to put his stepson through doctor school. Tony, put him to work in the lounge, give him $300 a week at that time. And then there was Cugat, who Sinatra said, put him in the after B.S. Pulley finishes, put Cugat in there. So, and then Belle Bart, and she was the filthiest female comedian I ever heard tell the joke. She didn't tell jokes. She used to go lift up her dress. She had panties on to the audience and to the women and say, well, watch the birdie, watch the birdie. What do you think? You're coming to a PTA meeting? And everybody laughed. That's what she used to do, Belle Bart. And then Ned Sullivan came in there and sat in the back of the lounge show. And Belle Bart went over to him after the show and said, when am I going on your show? And Ed Sullivan said, I have a family show, you know. So she looked at me, And I'm walking around the floor, and you're not, when you're Italian in those days and you're a boss, you stay behind the scenes. But my father wanted me in front to show the Jewish mob that we have Italians with knowledge too. So by staying on the floor, Belle Bart, I would walk around, she used to say, "You look like a Jewish Rock Hudson," as she used to call me. Later on in life, I went to Vegas because of the book signing, and there was a showgirl there that I dated. She's in her late 60s, and and in the audience there was about 120 of them in the senior citizen development. And she stood up and she said, "Hey, you Jewish Rock Hudson." That wasn't Belle Bart, but it was one of the chorus girls that used to call me a Jewish Rock Hudson. I'm Italian, but they wanted to make it look like I was Jewish while I'm walking the floor, because only Jewish guys could go out to the front. The Italian money's behind the scenes. And those are some of the girls I dated, yes. And then, of course, Choo Choo Collins, she became an actress, too. I don't know if she's alive today, but she had a manager that was a female, too. She's in that picture, too. And I have to do all apologies to my wife. This is before I married her.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, we'll be right back, and we're going to continue this story. If you like the Tony Knapp interviews, you will have to read his book, My Father, My Don. There is much more information than what was in the interview, and I am sure, like me, you won't want to put the book down. So to find out how to purchase this amazing true story, just go to Tony's website at www.myfathermydon.com. You won't want to miss segment 5, where Tony talks about heavyweight boxing champ Rocky Marciano and the great opera singer Mario Lanza. This will be information most of you never heard before, so stay tuned.